This is my wife, Andrea, and if you've been following our last couple videos, you know that she's attempting her largest furniture build ever.
This is so big.
This project has been weeks in the making, and in today's video, Andrea is finally finishing it off and getting it ready to reveal. So welcome to the adventures of my DIY wife and her non-handy husband.
Thanks to LUTRON for sponsoring this portion of the video. Caseta by LUTRON is the premium smart lighting device that gives families peace of mind by effortlessly turning darkness into welcoming light. Caseta is proud to be the most connected smart lighting brand on the market. With Caseta by LUTRON, a single smart switch can make any bulb smart. For example, instead of replacing all 4 ceiling lights in a kitchen, you can purchase a smart dimmer or smart switch that can turn all 4 existing bulbs into smart bulbs. With Caseta, the brains are in the switch. Caseta doesn't rely on your Wi-Fi, and that means it always stays connected so you never lose smart control of your lights. Caseta provides more ways to control your lights. In the LUTRON app, with your voice, with the smart remote, and at the switch. Most smart switches require a neutral wire. However, many homes built before the 1980s don't have one, which creates a barrier for those wanting to begin their smart home journey. Caseta by LUTRON dimmers are engineered to work in homes whether they have a neutral wire or not. The Smart Hub unlocks the full breadth of Caseta's functionality, like voice control and scheduling, and new devices can be added with the press of a button. It provides fast, reliable control from the app, Pico, or voice, and doesn't use Wi-Fi so it won't slow down your network, and keeps your devices, scenes, and schedules on even when the Wi-Fi is down. You can create scenes for different activities by setting the light preferences within the app. Just think about spaces where a change in the lighting can make it better suited for certain activities. Like for your dining room, you can set up the perfect dinner party scene by adjusting the lights for the perfect dinner mood. Or for the family room, you can set up scenes for a family game night, a movie night, or for entertaining friends. You can use the Pico remote to set any of these scenes as a favorite, or use your smart speaker to simply ask for the scene you want. You can use Smart Away to make Caseta work harder for you, whether you're gone for the week or just the night. Smart Away will actually turn lights on and off randomly to give the effect of being home even when you're not, which I think is a really cool feature. Using the app, you can schedule lights to adjust automatically at set times of day. You can turn your porch light on at sunset and turn it off at sunrise, or turn lights on to a soft level every morning as you head in to make your coffee. So if you're interested in checking out Caseta by LUTRON, be sure to check out the links in our description below. And thank you again to LUTRON for sponsoring that portion of the video. Now back to our regular content.
This massive cabinet build began with a drawing that came straight out of Andrea's brain. After that, we spent a full day going to 3 different home improvement stores and getting materials for the job.
We should probably go to Home Depot.
You gotta be kidding me. We finally accomplished the mission.
A full day of buying supplies.
The next day we began building, and there was a ton of measuring and cutting to get all of the raw materials ready for the build. Next, it was time to begin assembling everything, and this was a massive job. Finally, we were ready to bring this thing inside, which was not easy.
This is so big.
After that, Andrea spent several days building and installing the doors and drawer fronts, and this thing really started to look like a beautiful custom bookcase. And that brings us to where we are today, where Andrea is ready to finish off one of her most industrious and epic furniture builds to date.
What you eating?
Gummy bears.
Gummy bears? I want some. This is like a good way to start off the project with some gummy snacks. All right, what are we doing today, Brian?
We'll probably get as far as like vacuuming and cleaning it off. Okay, so first we need to get the piece really cleaned off. I blew all the dust off outside, but there's still a good bit of sawdust on it, so I'm gonna vacuum it all with our shop vac, and then I actually bought Rubio Monocoat's wood cleaner. It's supposed to get the sawdust off a little bit better. Rubio Monocoat says don't use mineral spirits, and so we're gonna try it out. Before I got started, I decided to pull all of the drawers out and then started vacuuming everything with my shop vac. That's heavy. Alright, so I'm trying out the Rubio Monocoat cleaner because I'm going to be using their products again for the cabinet. It's not sponsored, I really loved using it for the coffee table. Plus, it doesn't stink like a lot of oil-based stains do. The way the Rubio Monocoat oil works is it actually molecularly bonds with the wood, so you don't want it bonding with little particles of sawdust on there. So it is important that you have a good clean surface.
Molecularly bonds? Unreal.
Look how dirty that is. That's crazy.
No way. Look at all that molecular bonding happening.
This is not molecularly bonding,
Oh.
but I don't want all that left on my piece before I stain it. Alright, so I'm going to start by staining the outside of the piece. The inside of the cabinets are going to be a different color, and so I'm going to tape off just around this edge here. I might use some plastic to cover the shelves just in case I drip. So we'll do this, and then we'll get that first coat of color because I'm actually going to be doing similar to what I did for our coffee table and using what is called a precolor easy to get a really saturated dark color on the outside. Taping is one of those parts of a project that always takes way more time than I think that it will, but it is 100% necessary in this case. After I finished masking off the entire inside of the cabinet, I went ahead and propped the entire thing up on scrap wood to make staining the bottom edge easier. I lifted that.
You're so strong.
I do feel really strong after doing that.
Do you need help? Wow, superwoman.
I'm really good at asking for help. Alright, so I'm going to stain the outside of this piece black. I really thought that the dark saturated black wood color would look awesome in here, but I love that it's a stain, so we'll still see the wood grain. But the best option for like a deep black wood stain that I have ever seen is with Rubio Monocoat, and you use the intense black precolor and then use their black oil plus 2C on top of that. So this will be step one. I did go ahead and get one of their applicator pads last time I made an order with them just because I think it would make it easier, so we'll see. So I'm not really sure the best way to get it onto all my vertical surfaces, which is actually every surface that I'm going to be doing this on. Normally, like I did with the coffee table, you pour it and you can use like kind of a little squeegee to wipe it around and then use this to really spread it and get it in, but I hope this is not like a huge headache. It could be. So I'm going to try pouring it on here. It'll be a little bit of trial and error because I haven't had to do vertical surfaces like that. Alright, so I ended up cutting off a little bit of my applicator pad, and I'm just doing this whenever I need more, and that is actually working really well. I think because I'm doing a lot of really small surfaces with the 1x2s, that this big pad was just too big. That probably wasted a lot of product, but this is working great. About this time, I started realizing just how massive this project really was, and so I grabbed some headphones, turned on an audiobook, and just kept working. After more time than I anticipated, I finally finished staining the front of the cabinet. From there, I grabbed the larger applicator pad and moved on to staining the sides of the cabinet. After that, I moved on to staining the drawer fronts. And then finally, I came back with a small paintbrush to get some of the inside corners and the areas that were hard to reach with the applicator pad. Once I finished everything, I put the drawers back in and we let it dry overnight. Okay, so we've let all of this dry overnight. It's good and dry, so it's time for the final coat, and that is the Rubio monocoat oil plus 2C. And I will go ahead and note, you can use this by itself. You don't have to do the easy pre-color. I just wanted a really, really saturated black, and so that's why I did the pre-color the way I did it. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this all over the black, and then we'll focus on the inside so I can pull all the plastic stuff off.
Ooh. Is that a bunch of coffee in there? It looks like a cup of coffee or something in there.
Or oil. I applied the oil plus 2C the same way that I applied the pre-color, and this provides a little bit more color as well as a protective finish. Again, this step was very necessary, but it was definitely a long and tedious task. I tried to work in smaller sections that I could thoroughly cover and then wipe off within 15 minutes. Look at the difference between like the oil side and the not. It's like so velvety, smooth. Is velvet, can you describe a wood finish as velvety?
I would say so.
It looks really nice. All right, so we've let this oil plus 2C dry and I'm ready to stain the inside. I'm actually gonna use the Rubio monocoat pre-color again, and then I'll probably use a wax or something as my top coat. I have a color that I like in the pre-color easy, which is like, it's not the all-in-one product like the oil plus 2C, but
where are you going with this?
I'm gonna mix a couple of colors and I'm gonna put it all on the inside of the cabinet, and then we're gonna let that dry and then we'll figure it out after that.
That sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
Okay, I'm mixing these two colors. I've got vintage brown and smoked brown, but I have a lot more of the vintage brown, so I'm gonna mix in more of the vintage brown because I wanna make sure I mix enough for the entire cabinet because I don't have any more of this. Then I've got my massive container of the vintage brown.
You pour the Hershey's chocolate into the cup. Stir in your coffee.
With a little popsicle stick that I got out of the craft stuff.
Do you like your coffee dark or what?
Once I finished mixing my stain, I went ahead and removed all of the tape and plastic. I started applying the stain with an old brush I had on hand and then wiped away the excess using a lint-free rag.
Alright, you're a third of the way done. How's that arm feeling?
It's burning. After what felt like forever, I was finished staining the cabinet. That's it. My arms are toast.
Alright, are you pleased with progress so far?
Mm-hmm. It looks so much better. It was throwing me off having the raw wood inside of it. I was starting to guess my choices there. But it looks really good. I like it a lot.
So, what's happening now? If I didn't know any better, I'd say it looks like you're ordering lunch.
I am.
I'm down. Alright, she's excited. What are we doing?
Hardware and staging! And we have 20 minutes till we have to leave to pick up the kids.
Wait, staging?
Dean says I can't do hardware in 20 minutes. I think I can do hardware and staging, so let me get started.
So messy.
It is messy, man. Ow! Ow! Did I just scratch my forehead?
What happened there?
Okay, so before I can take these screws out to put the hardware in those holes, I need to add some screws from the inside to attach this without these screws.
Oh, that makes total sense.
That was hard to say for some reason. Okay, if everything would just go like it's supposed to go, I would be able to get this done. But these are too long for my doors and they're too short for the drawers because I'm going through 2 layers of plywood. So they're just barely too short, so I'm gonna drill just a little bit so I can sink these in and have them be long enough.
So Andrea has left the house to go to the garage and look for shorter screws.
I quit.
I'm not trying to say I won or anything. It's not a competition. I just
Dang it!
am wondering when you're going to figure out that construction takes longer than what's written on the paper. That's the
If
only
I
thing.
had the right length screws,
I
could
know.
have done this because I already have them like the hard part is done on the drawer. They're marked already.
Well, we're out of time. And I'm going to go pick up the kids from school.
I was wrong.
And you're going to go get screws from Lowe's. Is that correct?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, let's put the camera down and let's hurry. And then we can come back and finish this.
And then we'll come back, yes.
Does it sound like a deal?
Can I put all the pretty stuff in the cabinet after that?
Yes, I guess.
All right, I'm back with shorter screws. Got the kids from school. Let's try this again. I feel like I want to time it and just see if I can do this in 20 minutes. I feel like I can. Once I attached the drawer fronts with some screws from the inside, I was able to remove the screws that were in my hardware holes on the outside and then screw all the way through the drawer front and the drawer box. I got this hardware from Amazon, and if you've been around for a while, you might recognize this from our big closet makeover as well as our bedroom furniture. I know everyone always says this, but adding hardware to a piece really is like adding jewelry because it takes it to that next level and it is finally starting to come together. All right, now that our stain is completely dry, we're ready for staging, which is probably the part of this project that I have been looking forward to the most, if you can't tell, because as Dean pointed out, I like to stage a little bit here and there along the way just to get a good look. So this is so exciting.
Alright, was staging everything you dreamed it would be?
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna be sitting right here, staring. It changes it so much, it's crazy. It looks so much better with stuff in it. Once I finished decorating the inside of the cabinet, I went ahead and removed the doors so we could install the glass. Alright, so I've got all of the doors off, so it's time to start putting the glass in them. All right, I also wanted to go ahead and point out that if you are trying to attempt this yourself, most glass companies will actually round the corners of your glass, because when you use a router, you're not getting a little corner, you know, a sharp corner, and you can come in, you can chisel a square corner and keep your glass square, but that is a lot of extra work. And most of what I've seen the professionals do, or at least every time we've had glass cabinets installed by an actual cabinet company, they rounded the glass, and it is so much easier. And so that's what I did, and it looks great. All right, so thankfully the glass all fits, but I thought I had clear silicone on hand and I don't have any, or I can't find it, so we're gonna run and grab some of that. I'm also gonna grab some little glazier points, although I think most of the ones that Home Depot and Lowe's have in stock here locally are not very good, but I'm gonna try them, see if they work, but silicone is also enough, so we'll grab some of that and we'll come back and actually get these installed.
It's so cold out here.
It's really cold.
And rainy.
Wet.
Warm it up, Buttercup.
It's so cold out here.
It's cold.
I've got my warmest jacket. You do too. You got your poofy jacket on.
Ooh, let's get one of those.
Yours for only $9.99.99.
All right, we're back. We've got our stuff from Lowe's. I got some of these glazier points, which I was gonna try, but unfortunately, like all of their reviews said, they are absolute garbage, and as soon as you try and press them in or tap them in, they just bend. I'm sure you can get higher quality ones elsewhere, but that's all that Lowe's and Home Depot had. Thankfully, silicone is enough to hold it in place, and so we're just gonna stick with silicone. We'll have to wait for it to dry before we can install them, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Once I had applied silicone all the way around, I wiped off the excess using my finger and a paper towel. All right, I've got all the silicone on. My glass was cut just a little bit smaller than I wanted it, and so I needed a pretty substantial bead of caulk around some of the edges because there's a gap. But we've got to let this dry until tomorrow, and then we'll reinstall the doors, and then that cabinet will be finished, right? That's it?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I can't wait to see the doors with the glass in them on, because I feel like that's, again, gonna like totally change the feel of it.
All right, are you ready to put the glass doors on today?
I am.
What in the world?
I got an early start.
I thought we were supposed to film that.
I just started thinking, you know, I wonder if I could put one on by myself, and it turns out I can. I did it last night, and you just noticed.
Okay,
Typical.
This is becoming a problem.
It is. I'm sorry. We have 3 more. You can film the other 3. Oh, they're so much heavier with glasses. I need your help. All right, so final step is to install these little magnetic latches. Some of my doors are a little bit warped, so this will keep them closed, but also it'll help just keep them totally straight. Since these are really tall doors, just that little bit of warp, you can tell a little bit. And so last step, and then we're done with this cabinet.
man, how good does this cabinet look? So much hard work went into this thing and it has paid off. It is absolutely gorgeous. Good work. Again.
Yeah, I absolutely love how this cabinet turned out. I had a couple of moments along the way where I was like, oh, did I make the right decision when I just had the black and then it was still like the pink red oak in the inside, and I was like, that is looking a little bit out of place. But now that it's finished, it looks so good, and I cannot believe how long this took us. We started this, technically we bought supplies before Thanksgiving. Now we didn't work on it obviously solid that whole time, but here we are, we finally finished it.
And I've already said this, but I really do think this could be a family heirloom. Like, I'm not just kidding. Like, our kids, maybe even our grandkids could look and go, oh, Granny made this, I want that in my house. You know what I'm saying? It's incredible. So that's all from this incredible cabinet build. Thanks for coming along for the ride, and we have some very exciting projects coming up, so we'll catch you in the next episode.
Like that, yeah.
Okay. Well, man, how...
Wait, no, I'm not ready. I'm sorry. I'm still looking at you.
Okay.
Maybe put your hands out when they're like this.
Hey guys, it's Dean. I'm down here on a secret filming mission. I don't know if you can see me in the time lapse. There's a camera right there. So I'm trying to stay out of that shot, but get this shot, you know, hashtag cameraman duties.
And if I mix too little, we're gonna be waiting on this to come in the mail. Every time I say stuff like that, I always think, I hope this isn't one of those parts where you put foreshadowing on the screen.
Whoa!
What are you doing?
Just trying to get the shot, man.
Shoulder exercises this morning. My arms are tired still.
I was on the edge of the couch there. That didn't work.